Welcome everybody. I'm Katie and welcome to Combo Yoga class. So we're going to spend the first 30 minutes in our Vinyasa flow and we'll spend the second half of class in our long hold relaxation poses. Let's get started on our mats in child's pose. Come down to your space, bring your toes together to touch and spread your knees out wide. Walk your palms forward and bring your forehead down to the mat. Feel your upper body lengthen from your tailbone up your spine, through your head and neck, up both of your arms, and all the way to your fingertips. Do you feel that lengthening as your upper body pulls forward? Send your lower body back, pressing your hips back in space. Use these opposite gentle forces to grow even longer. Just spread out even wider on your mat. And start to settle in. Bring your attention here to your breath. Taking nice big inhales through your nose. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. This time, inhale through your nose, seal your lips. Exhale back out through the nose, finding a slight constriction in the back of your throat. Your Ujjayi Pranayama, your victorious breath that will help build heat in our body as we flow. Maybe take this time here in quiet on your mat to set your intention for practice today. A word, a thought, a phrase, an idea, something that comes to your mind. Maybe it's someone you want to dedicate your practice to, something you want to work on, some idea you want to grow toward or accomplish in this 60 minutes on your space. Crystallize that in your mind and let it guide you through your practice today. We're going to move from our child's pose into a child's variation of thread the needle. So rising up just a little bit from your extended child's pose, you're going to bring your right arm underneath that left arm, sending it nice and long as you bring the side of your right face down to your mat. Your left arm can stay long on the mat. It can come in, lined up with your shoulder, or maybe you find a half bind. When you're ready, slowly inhale and rise back up. Bring that arm in if it moved. Feel that right palm go towards the sky and then switch it out. Your left arm lifts high. Your right and comes underneath your right. Begin to feel that opening along the back line of your left shoulder. On your next inhale, slowly lift up, rising out of your thread the needle, and bring your palms back to the mat. Inhale, come up to your tabletop pose. We'll just be here for a few breaths, attacking our shoulders over our wrists, our hips over our knees. You can take a few cat-cows here, sinking down to cow on your inhale, pressing your spine up to cat on your exhale, or maybe you find some wrist stretches, sending the insides of your arms towards the front of your space, or even hip circles. Just take a few breaths here. Listen to your body. What movement is it looking for to start off your practice today? Wherever you ended up, we'll return together to tabletop. From your tabletop, lift up to come to standing on your knees. We're going to start with the gate pose on the right. Send your right foot out to the side, in line with your hip, toes flexed forward to the top of your space. Inhale, both arms high, and exhale, lean towards the right. Your left arm lifts, your right arm comes down to your leg. Find your calf or find your thigh. Stay off your knee for me. We want to avoid those joints. Keep your hips square to the front here. If you feel your left hip shifting forward or your right hip shifting backwards, just bring them back in line. Inhale, rise up to center. We're going to go ahead and switch it out. Bring your right leg back in and send your left leg out to the side. Inhale, lift both arms high. And exhale, gate pose to the left. You want to work on growing through that right side body, but you don't want to collapse your left. It's working, it's strong. And if you feel your side collapse in, just come up a little higher. Your depth here is not important as much as the integrity of the pose itself. While you're checking in with your body, looking on your shoulders here, make sure they're square to the front of your space. If one is going on a little joyride to the front or the back, just pull it gently back in line as you adjust. Inhale, rise back up to center. From your down dog, step back, find a high plank. Create one nice long line of energy from the crown of your head out through your heels. Press down through the fingertips and the edges of your palm. Engage your shoulders. We'll slowly lower down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Leave your hands just where they are. And inhale, baby cobra pose. Lift up through the chest. Little to no weight in your hands here. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. You can come up through your high plank or your tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. It's your first down dog of the day. Be gentle to your body. Pedal out your feet. Bend your knees. Wake up your hamstrings. Maybe you've been driving today, maybe sitting a lot. Wake every little piece up. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walker step to the top of your mat. Toes together, just a slight gap in between your heels. Inhale, lift all the way up to mountain pose. Ground through all 4 corners of your feet here. Grow tall through your spine. Relax your shoulders down your back. They're really the only piece here that you don't want to engage. Pinky tips. Pinky fingers roll internally towards one another. Inhale here. And exhale. Bring your arms behind your back, clasping your fingers together. Inhale, puff up your chest, find that bind. If this is a lot for you, I recommend grabbing opposite elbows. Works the same spaces. From here, we're going to flow down. You can keep your bind or release it at any point. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Create a nice flat back here. Your shoulders are automatically pulling towards one another if you have your bind. Exhale, release your bind if you still have it. Plant your hands and step back. We'll flow from our high plank. Coming down to our knees, lowering all the way to our mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Only 4 points of contact for the mat here. Your palms and the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Going to cue chaturangas for the rest of class. But no, you can take that variation, the earlier cobra variation. You can skip it altogether and hold a high plank or just go straight to down dog. We're going to flow that 2 times through, 1 breath to 1 movement. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walker step to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, bind your hands. Inhale, puff up your chest. Exhale, forward fold with a bind. Inhale, halfway lift with the bind. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, release the bind. Flow from your high plank to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll go one more time through. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, find the bind. Inhale, puff up your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Undo the bind, plant your hands, and we'll meet together in downward facing dog. Gonna move on. Inhale, send your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Bring your right leg in between your hands. Create a nice 90-degree bend in the front knee. Inhale, high crescent. Lift straight up. Legs stay exactly where they are for your low lunge. Your chest lift. Your arms come up to frame your ears. Squeeze your thighs together here to help find stability. Take one more inhale. Exhale. High crescent twist. You're going to open your arms to the right side of your space. So you're twisting towards that front knee. Arms are long, out like a T. And if you want to increase the twist, try gazing back towards that back hand. Inhale, star pose. We're twisting all the way back around. Feet pointed out, have 45-degree angles. Arms up nice and long, stretch it all out. Exhale. Come down to a wide-legged forward fold. You'll adjust your feet so they're parallel with the short side of your mat. And bending at the hips. Here, come forward. Maybe you bring your hands to the mat, maybe your forearms, maybe your head. Work to keep your weight in the fronts of your feet. And feel that opening along the back line of your legs. Waking up all those powerful muscle groups all the way up to your glutes. Slowly rise all the way back up. Coming into star pose one more time. And exhale, find your warrior two. Adjust your front foot so it's straight on your mat. Recommit to that 90-degree bend in the front knee. Back foot is still parallel with the short side of your mat. Stack your shoulders and hips in one nice straight line. And lift your arms up to a strong T, gazing over your front middle finger. Press into the outside edges of both of your feet, the pinky toe sides, engaging your legs. Inhale, reverse warrior. Legs stay where they are as your right arm lifts. Back arm, little to no weight there. And again, looking for that nice big extension through your right side body. One more inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your hands, flow your way. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. We'll get ready for our whole combination on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg high this time. Exhale, bring it through, low lunge. Find that foundation. It'll guide us through the rest of this flow. Inhale, rise up. High crescent lunge. Press your energy out through that back heel. Keep your upper body nice and strong. Feel your core and glutes engage here. Inhale. Exhale, high crescent twist. Inhale, rise up, star pose. You know where we're going. Work our way into our wide-legged forward fold. Option for a bind here. If you liked the binds from earlier, you want to get some more shoulder opening in, you're welcome to grasp your hands behind your back or find those opposite elbows. Inhale from here and exhale into your wide-legged forward fold. If you start with the bind and you hate the bind, you get rid of the bind at any point. If you haven't already, release the bind, return your palms to the mat. On your inhale, slowly rise all the way up, returning to your star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Find those same adjustments just on the other side this time. Really feeling that work in your thighs, working to rotate them outward. Checking in with those arms, making sure one isn't going rogue. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lift that left arm high this time, taking the weight out of your right side body. Work on lifting up first, and if there's still space, then maybe work on going back. One last inhale here. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your hands, step back, high plank to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're just gonna flow through one time on each side here. And we're gonna skip those wide-legged forward folds. So just keep an ear out as we flow. I'll cue you through the whole way. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high crescent. Exhale, high crescent twist. Inhale, star pose. Big twist here. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Flow through to downward dog. One more side. Inhale, lift your left leg high. And exhale, bring it through. Low lunge. Inhale, high crescent. Exhale, high crescent twist. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, chaturanga dandasana, or step back straight to your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, bring it through. Inhale, high crescent. I know, it seems like we're going the same way. I promise we're shifting gears. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your palms to heart center. Inhale, hinge forward. And exhale, find a revolved crescent. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. You can keep that back knee elevated, or you can drop it down to your mat. Work on finding the origin of that twist in your spine. Every inhale, feel yourself lengthening. Every exhale, looking for space to twist just a little bit deeper. One more inhale. Exhale, bring your palms down. And if you haven't dropped down to that back knee, come down now. We're gonna adjust from here into half splits with the back knee down. Your front leg is going to come straight out in front of you as you rise up onto that heel. Find any adjustments you need here. Maybe you need more space, less space. Work on what your body's telling you it wants here. If you have that folded up blanket or block or book or pillow, it's a great time to use it in our half splits. Let's our front foot and leg find a little bit more length here when our hands don't need to be on the floor. It also helps us find the origin of that bend in our hips as opposed to folding our shoulders over. Trying to work to keep a nice long spine in this pose. I know, it's so many things to think about when your hamstrings are throwing a small mutiny, but all pieces of this pose work on different areas of your body as we work to strengthen and stretch those hamstrings. This is a longer hold, so take your time here to get comfortable. We've gone through most of it already, so don't worry, we're not like hanging out here for the rest of class, but it's a great transition as we begin to think of our longer relaxation holds and really taking our time to enter those poses. If you used any type of prep, release it and bring that front foot back, refinding that 90-degree angle. Plant your hands and step your right foot back into your downward facing dog. See how that one feels in down dog, especially along the back line of your leg compared to the left leg that we haven't done yet. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high crescent. Be strong. Grow into that power, that control. Inhale. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale your chest forward. And exhale, revolved crescent. The other direction, working to get your hands as close to heart center as you can. If you stayed up on your toes, stay up here. You dropped down to the back knee, drop down. One more inhale here. Exhale, release. Bring it back to center. And work into your setup for your half splits on the other side. Walk that left foot forward if you need to. And straighten through your left leg this time. Stacking your hips over your knees along the back line of your body. Again, find that block or book, blanket or pillow, and work to straighten through that front leg, keeping a nice long spine from your tailbone through the crown of your head. Breathe into any places of tightness. Sending that calm relaxation force, that is your breath, into those spaces. Recognizing the difference between your edge and your growth in the pose and your overexertion of the pose. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be so awful that you hate the idea of me saying half splits. It is. Come up to a different variation of the pose, come into a lighter version, skip it all together. Maybe it's not a good pose for your body. When you're ready, we'll lift out of the pose together, removing any props if you use them, and slowly lifting up and out, refinding the bend in that front knee, and then bringing it back behind you. Knees come together. Or just have a seat on our heels here. We're moving next into heroes. If you hate heroes, I recommend to do some low crescent lunges instead, and I'll tell you when we hit the halfway point so you can make sure you do them on each side. But if you're joining me in heroes today, you're going to bring your knees together and find a nice strong seam in between your legs. Your heels are going to shift so they're just to the outside of your hips. So your hips can drop back into the space that is now empty because your heels are no longer there. We'll be here for a good bit. So if you want to use any type of prop to sit on, I highly recommend. If you're doing a different variation, start now. I'll give you a line when we're halfway. If you're in heroes, you can stand nice and tall and strong, or maybe you start to work your way backwards if your glutes are on the ground. You can just walk your arms back. Maybe you come down to your forearms. Maybe you lay all the way down into the mat. Take your time as you transition into the space. Get comfy. If you took a different variation that you need to get to the other side, switch sides now. If you didn't love what you got into heroes pose and you want to find a different expression, coming up, going lower, you always have that option here. Yoga is about your 60 minutes on the mat. I am a guide. You don't have to listen to a single word I say about what pose you have to do. As long as you do whatever pose you want safely, then that's all that matters. Remember those deep ujjayi breaths. Inhaling through your nose and sealing your lips to exhale back out through the nose. That slight constriction to the back of your throat brings that oceanic like sound. On your next inhale, you'll slowly begin to transfer out of the pose, coming back up to stand if you laid down, and then slowly walking your hands forward to come out of heroes nice and gently. Some big stretch, a lot of work in our quads there. And we'll meet together in tabletop. In your tabletop, we'll just take a nice long stretch to the back of our space with one leg and then the other. So finding lots of really nice extension after all of that contraction that we found in our hero's pose. From your tabletop, we'll transition into puppy dog pose. Walking our palms forward on the mat, keeping our hips where they are, stacked nicely over our knees. And bring your forehead down to the mat, or maybe even your chin. And yin, this is called melting heart pose, because you're working to melt your heart down to the mat. Opening up through the back line. A nice counteractive stretch. If you bend over a computer or papers all day. Take one more full round of breath here, inhaling through your nose, exhaling back out through the mouth or nose. It's up to you. And inhale, rise back up, find your tabletop. And we're going to move next into half pigeon. So if you like to come in from your tabletop, you can do that. If you prefer from your down dog, you can start up there as well. And we'll start by bringing our right knee toward our right wrist. Foot stays flexed here, so you don't want to point it or anything. You want it to stay nice and flexed, relaxed to avoid any injury in that general area and with your legs. Your left leg is nice and long behind you. You can take a look over your shoulder and check in there. Walk your hands up towards your hips, shine your heart forward. And exhale, sleeping half pigeon on the right. Bring your head down to your mat, to your prop, if it's around, to your arms. Give it some place to rest. On your next inhale, rise back up to your palms, lifting out. And tuck your back toe under and return to your tabletop or downward facing dog, wherever you came into your pose from. Find some movement here. Get the blood flow back into that right leg. And then return to stillness. And we'll prepare for the other side. This time, bring your left leg forward. It's coming up your knee towards that left wrist. Right leg goes nice and straight back behind you. Check in with your hips here. If you feel more weight going into one hip or the other, work to balance that out so you're not dumping. Inhale, walk those hands back, lift your chest high. And exhale, release down to the mat on the other side. Palms, forearms, whatever's accessible here. letting your arms take up the work that your neck normally does for your head. Inhale and rise back up and out of your pose again, coming through your tabletop or downward facing dog. Waking everything back up. And we'll meet together in a seat on our mats with our legs out in front. As we transition into our seated forward fold, you can keep your legs nice and long to help work on your hamstrings. So from here, you'll just reach as far forward as you can, feeling the back of those legs activate. If you'd rather come into your low back, stretch out more there. Bend your knees. Be generous here and reach your toes. Go tall and then long in your spine. Keep a nice integrity there. Letting all of the work in this pose originate from that full back line, not just our shoulders. Inhale to slowly rise up. And to move into Supta Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Send your knees out wide to either side, and we'll slowly come back down to lying on our backs on the mat. First through your forearms, and then all the way down. Adjust your feet or back as necessary. You can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, or keep your arms long by your side. To move out of the pose, we'll bring our arms long by our side and our palms come to the outside of our thighs. Slowly press your knees together, just like you're closing your favorite book. And then bring your knees in to your chest. To move into supine twist, we'll start on our right, grabbing for our right leg and sending our left leg nice and long. Give your right leg a nice little squeeze up towards your side body. And exhale, send it across for supine twist. Right leg comes over your left. Arms come out long, or maybe to a T. And gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, bring your right knee back into your chest. Maybe give it one more squeeze and then switch your legs out. Bring your left leg in. Pull it up gently towards your left side body. And on an exhale, find supine twist on the other side. The left leg comes over right, gazing over your left shoulder this time. Keep both of your shoulders firmly planted into the mat here. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale it out. And take one more big breath in, curling up into cosmic ball pose. Exhale, Shavasana. Grow long, take up space, relax into your mat here. Find your full and final surrender. I'll call you out when it's time. Begin to reawaken your body. Bring movement back by wiggling your fingers, your toes. Roll out your wrists and your ankles. Shake your head side to side. And take a nice big full body stretch like you've just woken up this morning. Roll on to your favorite side in a comfortable fetal pose, using your arm as a pillow. Thank yourself for making it to the mat today for these last 60 minutes you spent just on you for you. Slowly press up to a comfortable, easy seated position, keeping your eyes closed, and bring your palms together at heart center. Inhale your thumbs up to your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, the center of intuition. We bow together, honoring ourselves, one another, and our practice today. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to practice today.